Hey, Capricorn, this one is for you. That's you, Capricorn, with your general report from Tarot Lumination for October 2017. You know the drill. We've done this before, okay? Watch for your sun, moon, and rising. Make the best of it. Squish it all together. Reinterpret everything so that it works for you, okay? And we're just going to tell a story here. This is going to be a broad reading. No jumpers, no flyers, no oracles, no reversals. And we're not going to do a lot of preamble. We're just going to dive in. Cards were already pre-shuffled well in advance. And we're just going to do it to the last second so that you're a witness. Okay? Think of this as a heart journey. A journey of the heart. Okay? Broad and wide. Okay? All right, we're shuffled, so let's cut. Let's just do it. All right, Capricorn. I know I've been getting a lot of comments about how tough it's been for some of you. It's understandable. You can blame it on the planets if you want. It's fine. I do that all the time. All right, here we go. Let's have a look. Sorry. I'm not saying to do it all the time. I'm just trying to add a little humor there. Okay, Capricorns? I know you guys can be pretty serious at times, but I also know that you're really good at having fun when you decide to. Let's have a look. Okay. I can't remember if I cut. Give me a chance here. I'm going to do this again. I'm not going to switch this off or stop. I'm just going to live with the moment here, just like I would suggest you guys would do. And there we go. There's your shuffle. Now we're going to cut. Okay, I don't think we did cut earlier. I'm going to do a wacky cut just to be sure. So that's what we did. All right, so let's go for it. Here we are. This is like your core energy at the heart level, so to speak. All right, this is what I think of as your legacy energy coming in. Everything you're bringing with you could be from years and years. It could be pretty recent, dealing with the eclipses, the changes, the North Node journey, all of that stuff. We're all living through it. Those reports are still valid, by the way. And I know it's freaky, but it goes on for a long time. All right. So this is the ever-present now moving through, let's just say what we call October, a chunk of thing that we call time. So this is the ever-present now. And this is your energy of making decisions in the moment of now. Okay, in other words, this is the conscious, deliberate decision to move forward, to evolve. Now, of course, it can be unconscious. You just might be stumbling through life and thinking, okay, well, whatever happens is what happens. But either way, deep down, whether we know it or admit it or not, we're making decisions. If it's all happening on autopilot, good luck. The more you can bring into a conscious decision-making process, you have a greater chance of manifesting your own happiness, okay, which is the ultimate day job, okay? And then, because that's the best thing that you can do for yourself and the rest of the planet, is to love you first and be happy from the inside out. So how are we going to do that effectively without blowing up the whole thing? Letting others mess you up, or so that you don't step on other people's toes, and so that everything works, so that the actual decisions have a chance to be effective. And over here, this would be like if you go along with the laws of attraction, for example, where you create your own reality, decision by decision, and the outcomes are what they are, then this would be perfectly understandable to you. If you have different views, then this might feel more like the energy of so-called fate dropping into your life. And then this energy over here, let's call it like joys and sorrows, or dreams and nightmares, or what happens if this all works out, we make the good decisions, and what happens if it doesn't? Uh-oh. So over here, this would be like the energy of the momentum. So where does it take us? Interesting. Good question. Where does that take us? So let's have a look in a moment. Oh, just let me show you. Can you see this? See that shape there? I'm trying to make it look like a heart. I like to think of it as a heart spread, and it's a journey of the heart, okay? as you go through your evolution through October, whatever you're bringing into October and whatever you're planting seeds for coming out of October. That's what I feel is going on here. That's the purpose of the spread. So that's you at the very core there. And of course, you can reinterpret however you want once we're done here. Just, rewrite the whole story for yourself. Okay? Just like they do in the movies when they're fixing a screenplay. All right, so let's have a look under here. We're going to look at the weather in a moment. This is like prevailing conditions that are there for you, for better or worse, and it's your choice to make the best of it. Just like any weather, anything that you would witness outside your front door, hurricanes, tornadoes, floods, nice day, sucky day, whatever it is. Let's have a look. Woohoo, yay. Congratulations, Capricorn. You might be getting a feeling that the universe is giving you profound little tap on the shoulder that says, just letting you know, Capricorn, you're actually doing a pretty good job. Well done. Thank you very much. You have our permission now from the angels above to go and strut your stuff. And no one will think you're being a show-off. In fact, they'll say, wow, that's cool. Go Capricorn. What are you taking? What are you on? I want some of that too. You got any to spare? Thank you very much. So that's what I'm feeling here. So let's see that as positive energy. What's in the depths here? Whoa, this is almost something quite different. So you might be putting on a very, very brave face, Capricorn, right now, as you go through your own journey where deep down it might be, it's not like you would want to broadcast this to the rest of the world, but deep down you might be absolutely scared out of your wits about what's happening in such a way that it can feel very disorienting and, let's say, spooky. And let's just say this is also directly related to the very recent eclipses coming out of August that are very closely tied, of course, to the Leo North Node journey. And you can watch those playlists inside the Terra Lumination channel if you want. So in other words, we've got these two bold contrasting energies where, let's say this is more to do with the bravado. You are being encouraged to be brave, put on the brave face, act courageously, and conduct yourself as a winner. Even if you don't feel like it, even if deep down you're feeling scared out of your wits about what's happening right now. If you feel as though your life is a real serious high wire act right now and you're struggling every day to get from point A to point B in your life, your journey, your job, your health, your career, your love, your relationships, friends, family, whatever it is, and it gets to the point where, on a high wire act, it's just like you're halfway through and you can't believe you even got that far. And then you get to the other side and you realize, oh my gosh, the hardest part is the very last bit at the very end. And it's already been a crazy journey just to get here. Oh no. What's happening? But you can do it, Capricorn, because you're tough. Okay? You don't have to be scared. Okay, so you can blame all this stuff on the eclipses and the nodes and the planets or whatever. But ultimately, you have to live your life, make the decisions, and just do it. And even if it feels scary and spooky and you feel like you're getting hazed, you're doing it, okay? You're doing it. You're making those bold moves, setting out on the path, even though you might feel a little bit spooked or confused. Also, another thing here is that deep down, it can also indicate that you have just figured out that it's actually quite cool to trust your intuition. You don't have to do everything as a managerial task. You don't have to run your life as a business all day, every day. You can do that cool thing where you just switch off and tune into the great beyond, tune into your subconscious and listen to what those inner voices are saying. Because that's real. At least as far as I'm just saying, from the perspective of Terra Lumination, that stuff is real, okay? So it could be an indication that it might be very, very fortuitous for you right now, Capricorn, to listen to your deepest inner voices, your deepest gut intuition, your deepest like subconscious, okay? And allow for that in your day-to-day waking world, as though that's just what you do normally. All right, so what are you bringing in with you here? Oh, don't worry too much. Now, with the Three of Swords here, yes, it's a Swords card, but obviously the heart is the very dominant image, all right? So it can be a really scary card for a lot of people. So let's just say that, let's say you've been on a long journey. You've been living your life. I don't know, even if, with this new Tarot Lumination stuff going on here, we have to allow for all watchers, all viewers, even the under 18 crowd. So I'm trying to be very careful with language and stuff. But we do have to allow for our heart energy. This is a heart spread. This is a journey of the heart. And if in your spooky, new, scary journey that is unfolding in front of you, where you may not have a lot of idea of your gut intuition bearings, and you're just literally having to trust intuition, trust the subconscious, it makes you more aware of heart energy that's much deeper inside of you, as opposed to the managerial executive part of yourself, which would be more in your body and your mind. This is much more to do with deep soul energy. And now that you're tuning into this type of energy more and more in October here, you realize that you might have been carrying a lot of, let's say, deeply buried wounds to do with your heart. I'm not necessarily saying love and relationship, but more heart pain, chest pain, anything like that, where it would feel pressure in the heart, where you start to become aware, not to start, you're actually becoming extremely aware about how you might have been very good at betraying yourself, bringing heart pain and heartache onto yourself, and how others copied you. In other words, you are the author of your own demise. Okay? And the realization can be a little bit heartbreaking when you realize, oh my gosh, if in the most highly spiritual understanding, I brought all this pain on myself. Even if it feels like it was perpetrated upon me by others, you know? So it's really good to understand and own that, and own your pain, own your heartache, own your sorrow, become very deeply aware of it and embrace it as a very big, important part of yourself. It doesn't have to own you, but it's very important to own it and become a full person, because we are, the heart is the ultimate organ inside of us, without which we have no life. So wherever it is you are broken in the heart, tend to that. And it looks to me like you're, let's say, allowing this to happen in a very subconscious way that you probably might not have chosen if you were conducting yourself as a business manager of Capricorn Incorporated Mark 1. But on the journey to becoming Capricorn Incorporated Mark 2, we have to admit that we have to deal with these energies. It's like going to the core and the heart and the soul of a business. A business is not just about machines and gadgets and knobs and dials and the inbox on the desk and the outbox on the desk. Businesses are built out of the heart and the soul, of passion and a desire to do something, to provide a service, to provide a product that has value and worth to others. So that comes from the heart. Ultimately, it all comes from the heart. So it's good to realize that, acknowledge that, and bring that into your life, in your world, and especially where it's not working. And again, I'm all about the revealing it to heal it stuff. So it's really good to understand and very clearly define where there might be a lot of heartache. And you might be carrying that right on your sleeve right now. It might be very, very apparent, and that might feel very unusual to you and look very unusual to others. Like, gosh, that's not how I normally see you, Capricorn. Normally you've got it all together, you're solid as a rock, and now you're falling apart inside. Hey, welcome to the club. You're a human being. Yay, you have a heart that beats just like the rest of us, and you feel all the pain that we feel. Yay. Gosh, Capricorn, we thought you were made out of concrete or granite. We are all really glad to know that you're made out of flesh and bones, Capricorn. Let's have a look at the ever-present now. Look, moving on, moving on, moving on. Yay. It's on the understanding that, wow, you can't live like this forever. You just can't live as a broken heart with a broken heart forever and carry that with you. It's time to heal. It is time to move on. It is time to define what is not working, what is the source of the pain, who caused it, why, and everything like that. And then forgive it and forget it and move on. Leave it all behind and take the good stuff with you. That's what this is all about here. Making deliberate, it's like a deliberate realization that I, Capricorn, have to do this. I have to come to terms with these deep inner issues that I might have neglected for so long and start off and then conduct myself going forward as though I'm on a journey where I have to bring the good stuff with me and leave all the pain and sorrow behind. And that will be my victory. Learning how to do that, making the decision to do that. That's very, very bold. And you may not want to do it actively, Capricorn, because it's like Capricorn, you just want to get on with life, doing what has to be done in life, the stuff that works for you, for life, and for everyone else. You're really good at making life happen in ways that actually work. And then having to go and deal with this deep inner stuff here, maybe you're reluctant or scared about doing it, but it seems evident here that, well, there's no way out of it now. You're at a point in life where you're just going to have to deal with it, which means leaving the old behind and moving on into the new. And it takes courage, okay? We understand here that it does take courage, and it means you're going to go into a bit of a, let's say, a wobbly phase. But that's okay, because you're going to come out the other side. You already know that. You know that you're on a journey, and you're coming from deep in the heart, and you're going to come out fine on the other side. So now you're going to have to make active decisions about how to do that. So this is you in your active decision-making mode. Okay, look. With the little Four of Cups here, it's like, let's acknowledge this. Let's just say, okay, I'm a Capricorn, and I'm used to running things. I like things to work, and I'm prepared to do the work. You know, Capricorns typically are tough, and they can handle whatever life throws at them. And they say, like, bring it on, man. Just bring it on, because that just makes me stronger. So with the Four of Cups here, to me, it feels like it's an indication that as you move on here, in a very, very subtle way, you make the decision to, let's say, accept that you're going to have to change your attitude. There's no way out of it. You're going to have to drop all the baggage, the heartache, the pain and suffering, bring the good stuff forward, recalibrate everything like you would do as a businessman, like rebuilding their business model, planning for the future, having a group meeting, getting some training, whatever it is you have to do to recalibrate for the future, on the understanding that energy flows where attention goes. So once you understand that concept, it's physics, basically. Right? Once you understand that and you realize, like, oh my gosh, if I've been consumed by all this woe and heartache and pain over here, and I let all that stuff own me, and that became like a debilitating virus inside my computer system, that is me, Capricorn 1, Capricorn Mark 1, then it's an understanding that just by your just like, you know, innocent self, you're allowing your problems and pain to own you. And then they do own you because that's happening. So you realize, oh my gosh, energy flows where attention goes. So if I focus on the love and the good stuff, recalibrate using my new concepts and perceptions and beliefs, and not being scared to go onto this new approach about how to deal with life and business and the business of life, then by recalibrating away from all the behaviors and actions and you know, situations that trigger heartache and pain, and refocus on the little miniature Ace of Cups here, then you can actually start to invite uh, like basically the healing power of love into your life. That's how I look at it. Okay, this is what I'm into on Tarot Illumination. I'm very much about the healing power of love and bringing it into our lives as an active force, like literally like an energy field, like plugging your fingers in the socket in the wall and getting tapped into that stuff. And this is by invocation on the understanding I have to make a deliberate decision to change my attitude, uh, change my attention. In other words, by refocusing my attention on the good stuff, the love, then you don't have to keep reinviting uh, the sorrow and pain that you've had to endure up till now. You can very gently recalibrate by refocusing the attention. So that's a really big, bold decision to make. And again, well done, Capricorn. You can applaud yourself. That's a big, bold decision, admitting that you own this and you own the inverse of it. You can own your happiness just like you own this, even though you don't want to own it. So in order to evolve effectively, how are we going to do that? On the understanding that moving forward, you have to make the conscious, deliberate decision to refocus your attention on the love as opposed to the love that's lost. Bam-o. Well, with justice served, everything would be brought back into harmony and balance again, the way it should be. Because over here, even though you might have been conducting yourself in a way in life that, to all intents and purposes, from your own perspective and others, it's just like, well, it wasn't that bad, you're not expecting to have, some ecstatic, miraculous events all day, every day. In other words, you're very practical and down to earth, Capricorn. You're very comfortable with the understanding, like, I'm just happy to get through the day and do what has to be done. And we made it this far. That's cool. But with this, it's on the understanding that you can have a chance to actually have more wealth and more experience of love at the very, very core by your active decision, so that you don't have to walk around with an attitude like, well, this is as good as it gets. And if anybody says it's going to get any better, you're just fooling yourselves and you're trying to fool me, because I know that basically life sucks up to about 70-80% of it, and you're lucky to get 1 or 2%. That's pretty nice. So I just accept that as my day to day. But this little spread here, the story is telling you here, no, you can actually improve on that. You can actually increase the amount of joy and love and happiness in your life by refocusing your attention on the love and the happiness, as opposed to business, business, business all day, every day. And that might feel weird to you, okay? But the suggestion is here to allow that to happen in such a way that, what's that expression? I'm trying to think of the expression. So that justice is served, but it's in such a way that you allow the justice that you deserve to unfold for you. In other words, by making these deliberate decisions to refocus your attention on what actually works in terms of joy and love and happiness, as opposed to like focusing all your attention on what makes you miserable or sorry or whatever it worked, and seeing that as problems that have to be solved. Stop focusing on the problem. You focus on the solution. And the solution, this is the problem. The solution is here. This little cup of love. Love is always the answer. Always, always, always. And in so doing, what you realize is like you flip your life upside down in a very, very subtle way that's actually quite effective, so that you get exactly what you deserve. In other words, oh, wow, that's cool. So it actually works. I just refocus my attention. Huh. It's like an automatic self-healing app. Cool. All right. So let's say that happens, and let's say you understand what we're talking about here. How does that work Well, where does that, how does that manifest in day to day? Once you see the link here between uh, the focus of attention and the consequence of focus of attention. Okay, it gives you a chance to reevaluate everything from a whole new perspective in life, in a very nuts and bolts way, where you realize, oh my gosh, there's a process here. If I actually treat this as a business process, like part of my business operating system, how I would go back and live my ordinary Capricorn regular day-to-day life in my typical Capricorn manner, I can treat this as a process, as a work in progress as well. In other words, aha, I get it, but we're going to do it incrementally, step by step. So it allows you to reevaluate your own worth to yourself and appreciate yourself more than ever before. And also allows you to understand that, wow, what they were talking about right here is actually a business process. But it doesn't have to be drowning in the sorrow and focusing on the problems. You identify the problems, refocus your attention on what works, which is love always, allow the justice to be served, which is like a neutralizing process where it's like instead of you being owned by all the weeds and the overgrowth that are shadowing and suffocating and tying up your resources unnecessarily, you can actively go in there and actively apply like psychic weed killer to get rid of the stuff and prune and tuck and prune and tuck, and so that the real stuff, the real value, has a chance to nurture and grow. Again, it's by removing the obstacles. It's like doing the homework. It's like being a good gardener on oneself, and combining the processes here by refocusing your attention on the solutions. And the solution is to focus on the love, and the way that manifests is that it turns into a process where it's like weeding, it's purifying, it's pruning, it's tucking, it's a constant diligent energy of doing what a farmer or a gardener would do all day every day. Not every day, but at least once a day. They would do the rounds. They'd go out there just like a businessman or a farmer, checking their farm before they go to sleep, making sure everybody's happy, the cows are fed, and the chickens are fed, and the crops are fine. And if there's anything that needs attention, we can do that tomorrow. Set aside an hour to fix that tomorrow. So what about the hopes and fears of all of that? Man, see, it takes you into your power. It allows you to shine, 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 shine like never before. Yay. And that becomes very inspiring. Once you get it, once you understand how this process works, it's actually very satisfying. So you don't get overwhelmed by the weeds and the sorrow from overgrown weeds. You think, wow, if I turn it into a daily practice, a little bit of pruning, tucking here, then the weeds never have a chance to grow. Eventually they just die off. And that exposes the value of you, which you can now transpose and translate into your own like shining light and inspiration, where like fingers crossed, you're thinking, my gosh, I hope this works. Whatever Tarot Illumination is talking about, I hope it works, because then I can have a chance to be this, an inspiration to myself and an inspiration to others, where I'm happy to get down in the dirt with everybody else and say, listen, just do what I do, people. If I can do this, you can do this. Cool? Get it, everybody? And you might want to like share your understanding with others, or just live by example and allow others to hang out with you and enjoy your own light. Cool, Capricorn? Get it? So, of course, the fear would be that this doesn't happen, but I don't know. You're a manifester, Capricorn. You're going to make this happen anyway. So where does that take us? Ha 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 ha. To me, it feels here, it's like, aha, it works. It actually works. Oh my gosh. I can't believe this. How come nobody told me before? Focus on the solutions, not the problem. Then you get what you deserve. And don't treat it as a pain in the neck. Treat it as a noble task that's very fulfilling and very rewarding. Brings me into my own light the way I was supposed to be all along, but never knew. And that allows my true bounty to flourish, so to speak. In other words, your garden comes into fruition, full fruition, to the point where you almost don't know what to do with it anymore. It's almost like you become so abundant, so wealthy now on the realization, like, oh my gosh, now I get it, I get it, I get it. So, like at the deep soul level, you become wealthier than ever before. Now, I don't know how that's going to translate into your bank account. You know, you can rewrite this and reinterpret this however you want, but I'm seeing this as tangible soul resources, soul energy resources, where you're building your wealth by focusing on the solutions, what needs to be done and how to do it, getting your just outcome accordingly, so that you can be this. Look at this. Okay, forget the gender, the queen here and the queen here. What I'm just focusing on is the energy of abundance here. You're becoming, like, the wish is to become your bright, shiny self and to own it and be that and know it for sure, to the point where you could literally put it in the bank. You know, it's very, very worthy. You are very worthy. You are very deserving, and you become more and more open to receive and more open to focusing. In other words, the better it works, the better it works. So that's what I'm feeling here for you, Capricorn, once you understand the process that we're talking about here. And I just hope you get it and I didn't like hurt your feelings or confuse you, okay? Sorry, I got a bit carried away there. All right, Capricorn, have an awesome October. Watch your sun, moon, and rising and try to make something out of it that works for you, okay? That's you. Bye. Goodbye from Terra Lumination. Bye.